They planned this. This was not a coincidence. Brock Lesnar, the most dangerous, most feared, most destructive human being to ever lace up a pair of boots in that squared circle, got jumped at WrestleMania, at the showcase of the Immortals. And the sickest part? Nobody stopped it. Nobody even tried. So let me ask you something right now: who sent those masked men? Because somebody backstage knew. Somebody with power, somebody with money, somebody with a motive signed off on the most controversial moment in WrestleMania history, and the WWE Universe is furious. Drop a comment right now: did WWE just destroy Brock Lesnar's legacy to make Oba Femi a star? Because what I'm about to show you will make your blood boil. Segment 1: setting the stage, Lesnar vs. Femi. Let's rewind. Because before we talk about the chaos, before we talk about the masks, before we talk about the conspiracy that is tearing the WWE Universe apart right now, we need to talk about what this match was supposed to be. Brock Lesnar vs. Oba Femi at WrestleMania 42. Think about what that means. Think about what was on the line. This wasn't just a championship match. This wasn't just two big men colliding in the middle of the ring. This was a passing of the torch moment. WWE had been building Oba Femi for months, this physical specimen, this next-generation destroyer who looks like he was carved out of granite and forged in fire, and they put him across the ring from the beast incarnate himself. Now let's be real. Brock Lesnar coming back to WrestleMania was already massive news. Love him or hate him, and I know half of you in the comments absolutely despise this man, you cannot deny what Brock Lesnar means to a WrestleMania card. His presence alone shifts the entire energy of the building. 80,000 people in that stadium felt it the second that theme music hit. That low, thundering, pounding bass. The arena went electric. And Oba Femi? Standing across the ring, not flinching, not blinking, staring down the most dangerous man on the planet like he belonged there. And honestly, he did belong there. This kid has been must-see television every single time he steps through those curtains. The athleticism, the intensity, the raw power. Oba Femi is the real deal, and everyone in that building knew it. So we had a legitimate dream match. Monster versus monster. The old era versus the new era. The beast versus the next beast. And for the first 12 minutes of that match, ladies and gentlemen, it delivered everything we wanted. Segment 2: the match breaks down. Lesnar opened up with that cold, calculated aggression that only he can bring, targeting the body immediately, grinding Oba Femi down like he does to everybody. German suplex after German suplex, 1, 2, 3 Germans in a row, sending Femi across that ring like a ragdoll. And the crowd is in shock because nobody throws Oba Femi around like that. But here's where it got incredible. Oba Femi got back up. Not slowly. Not staggering. He got back up with anger on his face. And the crowd exploded. Because everybody in that building suddenly realized this young man is not going to be broken. And Lesnar's eyes, you could see it, there was just a flicker of something in Brock Lesnar's eyes in that moment. Was it respect? Was it surprise? Was it the first time in years that somebody absorbed his offense and came back at him like that? Femi fired back with those crushing right hands, rocking Lesnar into the corner. The big running shoulder thrust that nearly took Lesnar off his feet. The crowd is going insane. This match was building to something special. This was the kind of WrestleMania moment people remember for decades. And then the lights went out. Not the whole arena. Not a complete blackout. Just a flicker. A brief, deliberate, unmistakable flicker, like somebody was sending a signal. And if you were watching at home and you missed it, go back and watch that footage frame by frame, because what happens in those 3 seconds of darkness changes everything. Segment 3: the masked men attack. 4 of them. 4 masked men came through the crowd. Not from the entrance ramp. Not from the backstage area. From the crowd. Which means they had tickets. Which means they were in that building for hours waiting for their moment. This was organized. This was coordinated. This was premeditated. They hit the ring simultaneously from all 4 sides. Black tactical gear. Full face masks, no logos, no insignia, nothing identifiable. These weren't random thugs. These were professionals. And they went straight for one man, Brock Lesnar. Now let me pause here because I need you to really understand the audacity of this moment. These 4 men just willingly stepped into a wrestling ring with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That is either the most courageous or the most stupid thing any human beings have ever done, depending on whether or not they had a plan. And they had a plan. The first 2 grabbed Lesnar's arms simultaneously, pinning them behind his back. Lesnar, being Lesnar, immediately began powering out. You could see him fighting it, the veins in his neck, the raw rage on his face. But before he could fully break free, the 3rd masked man delivered a vicious running strike directly to the back of Lesnar's skull. A deliberate, calculated shot designed to neutralize the beast. Brock Lesnar dropped to one knee. The crowd went from euphoria to stunned silence in less than 2 seconds. I've been watching wrestling my entire life and I have never heard an arena go that quiet that fast. 80,000 people holding their breath simultaneously. The fourth masked man then delivered a second strike, and Brock Lesnar went down. The referee was shoved out of the ring. Officials started rushing down. Obafemi stood in the corner the entire time watching, and this is the detail that everyone is talking about today. Obafemi did not look surprised. He did not look horrified. He watched those masked men do their work with an expression on his face that I can only describe as cold, calculated, patient, like he had seen this before, like he knew. Segment for the controversial finish. The masked men disappeared back through the crowd as quickly as they arrived. Security scrambling everywhere. The referee climbed back into the ring. WWE officials surrounded ringside. And in the middle of all that chaos, Obafemi walked over to the fallen Brock Lesnar, hooked the leg, and the referee made the count. 1, 2, 3. New champion. And the arena erupted, but not in the way you'd expect a Wrestlemania title change to erupt. It was split. Massively split. Half the building on their feet, half the building raining down boos. And right now on every wrestling forum, every YouTube comment section, every Twitter thread, the WWE Universe is divided straight down the middle. Because here's the question that nobody can answer: did Obafemi win? Or did Obafemi steal? Segment 5: The Conspiracy. Let's talk about the masked men, because this is where it gets deep. Theory number 1, and this is the one that's spreading like wildfire right now, is that this was a WWE storyline play all along. That those masked men were hired either by Obafemi himself, by his associates, or by some mysterious faction that we haven't seen yet. The fact that they came through the crowd with tickets, the fact that they had a coordinated plan, the fact that Obafemi's reaction was so calm, all of it points towards something bigger. Something that WWE has been setting up quietly in the background. Think about it. You don't just randomly organize 4 trained individuals to take down Brock Lesnar at the biggest show of the year without some serious backing. There is money behind this. There is power behind this. And somebody in that locker room knows exactly who those men are. Theory number 2: this was done without Obafemi's knowledge. That some entity, some faction, some individual with a vendetta against Brock Lesnar used Obafemi's title match as the vehicle for their revenge against the Beast, which would make Obafemi simultaneously a winner and a victim, a champion who may have won through someone else's scheming without ever consenting to it. And theory number 3, the one I personally find most chilling, is that this goes all the way to the top of WWE management. That decisions were made in boardrooms, not locker rooms. That the masked men were a controlled demolition of Brock Lesnar's aura, designed to create maximum controversy, maximum engagement, and maximum storyline momentum going forward. Because let's be honest with each other, this is the most talked about WrestleMania moment in years. And in the attention economy, controversy is currency. Segment 6: What this means for Obafemi. Now let's talk about Obafemi, because I don't want this video to be just about Brock Lesnar. I don't want this to become another moment where we diminish a young, talented, extraordinary athlete because of circumstances around him. Obafemi is a generational talent. Full stop. Before those masked men ever hit that ring, he was matching Brock Lesnar. He was surviving Brock Lesnar. He was hurting Brock Lesnar. And that is something that very few human beings on this planet can say. The work he put in during those 12 minutes before the chaos erupted told a complete story all by itself. This man is ready. This man is elite. But the championship he's holding right now comes with an asterisk in a lot of people's minds. And that is the burden he is going to have to carry. Every time he walks out with that title, people are going to remember the masked men. People are going to ask the question. And the only way Obafemi silences those doubts is by defending that championship with such overwhelming dominance that the WrestleMania 42 controversy becomes a footnote instead of the headline. The ball is in his court. And honestly, I believe he has everything it takes to run with it. Segment 7: What this means for Brock Lesnar. And then there's Brock. Because we need to address this directly. Brock Lesnar left WrestleMania 42 on a stretcher. The Beast incarnate, the man who conquered The Undertaker's undefeated streak, the man who dominated John Cena, the man who made Roman Reigns earn every inch of his throne, was carried out of that building by medical personnel. And the wrestling world doesn't quite know how to process that image. Lesnar's future is now the biggest question in WWE. Does he come back demanding retribution? Does he demand to know who those masked men are? Does the investigation into their identities become the central storyline of WWE Raw and SmackDown for the next several months? Because if WWE plays this correctly, the fallout from WrestleMania 42 could fuel programming for the rest of the year. A motivated, furious Brock Lesnar hunting for answers and hunting for revenge is must-see television. And if those masked men are eventually revealed to be connected to someone inside the WWE Universe, a current star, a faction, a returning legend, then this becomes one of the greatest long-term storytelling moments WWE has executed in the modern era. Closing. So here's where I leave you. WrestleMania 42 gave us a match that started as a dream and ended as a nightmare depending on which side of the ring you're on. Obafemi stands as champion. Brock Lesnar stands as a victim. And 4 masked men are out there right now, somewhere, knowing exactly what they did and exactly who sent them. The WWE Universe deserves answers. And Ring Rumble 1 is going to be here every single step of the way, covering every development, every reveal, every explosive moment that comes from this story. But right now I need you to settle this in the comments. Is Obafemi a legitimate champion, or did he just steal the biggest moment of his career? And who do you think sent those masked men? Because I have a theory that is going to blow your mind in my next video, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Smash that like button. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. Subscribe to Ring Rumble 1 because we are just getting started. The WrestleMania 42 fallout is only beginning and nobody is going to cover it harder than us. Let's go.